Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is for trading on July 25th, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the data here, we saw positive services PMI and negative or slightly negative flash manufacturing PMI out of the US. Other than that, the PMI numbers for Eurozone were actually negative. And coming up here shortly, we have RBA Governor Lau speaking. So Reserve Bank of Australia has actually been dovish in their monetary policy. So if they continue those comments, it could have a negative impact on Australian dollar. We have seen Australian dollar drop already. And if the comments are negative, we could see it drop even more. So coming up tomorrow, big day here for the euro. We have this ECB press conference and monetary policy statement. So ECB has been dovish lately. So they've just been a negative in terms of the outlook on the Eurozone economy. They have also expressed concern about the US-China trade war. So all of that is actually pointing towards them easing the monetary policy. So should they do that or have more comments in regards to that, that would be negative for the euro. So going into that, we have seen euro drop. So if the ECB is not as dovish, or if the comments are not as negative as the market is expecting, we could actually see euro go up. But if they are in line with the market expectations, we could see it drop even more. If they are very negative, we could see it drop nicely. However, if they are a little bit more upbeat, then we could see a reversal in euro instead of it going down. So keep an eye on euro. Leading up to the ECB press conference, we have seen it drop. And sometimes what happens is the market has higher expectations than what the central bank will deliver. So should that happen, it will actually move in the opposite direction. One of those sell the rumor, buy the news, buy the rumor, sell the news, that type of thing. So keep that in mind. So let's go on to the charts now. All right, so we'll start off with our euro dollar. Yesterday, we were looking for a drop. So we got that drop here. Didn't quite get to the 1120 level, only got to 1127-ish level. So just a few pips short. So now we are into this support here. So coming close to our bottom line here. Now, bias is still to the downside. The problem will be this pin, which shows a rejection. So what I will look for here, my bias is still to the downside. What I will look for is a retest of the low from today. If price drops through that level, then I'm looking for price to go and test this 1.1100 level, and that will be the target here. Now, if the ECB is not as negative, we could see it price go up sharply, because leading into the ECB, we have seen this drop here, and it could actually go up quite a bit here. So keep that in mind. For now, the bias is bearish. First target is 1126 here, basically the bottom of today, and then 1100, 1.1100. So bearish bias for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, this one actually went up. I was looking for price to drop yesterday, but British pound has been, so one of the things that we had talked about yesterday was the new Prime Minister for the UK. So we have the new Prime Minister now, Boris Johnson, and British pound has stabilized as a result of that. So there wasn't anything crazy that happened in the market. So as a result of that, British pound stabilized. So now we have a bullish candle close here. So as a result of that, we could see British pound go up higher. So I would look for a retest of today's high first, and potentially a move higher all the way into the top of this little range that price has been trading in for the last couple of days, last couple of weeks here. As we can see, this is where price has been over the last couple of weeks. So I'm looking for price to go up higher. Only thing to keep in mind here will be the resistance level here. So if we notice here, price came into this resistance here. If price is not able to break the resistance, then we could see price come back down. So that's something to keep in mind. So our first target today is 1.2520. So I'm looking for price to go retest the high here. And if it goes through that, the second target would be 1.2550. And then we could see it come back into the range. But if the first one doesn't get met, so if the price goes into the first one and doesn't go through, then I'm looking for price to drop here. So bias is bullish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one is bearish here. So looking for price to drop further. And we could get a pullback into 0.6995 level here. So keep that in mind, and then a drop, or we could get a very shallow pullback here into 69.90 level. So either way, bias is to the downside. We have a nice bearish candle close. Yesterday we were looking for a drop, we got that. Now again, looking for a drop here, and target here is 0.6920. So looking for it to come back into the bottom of this, this candle here. So bias is bearish. New Zealand dollar here, yesterday we were looking for a drop. We had a bit of a drop here, but today's candle close is neutral. So we have pin on both sides, very small candle body that gives, that's our spinning top. So that gives it a neutral bias now. So neutral bias, what I will look for is if price stays below today's high at 0.6720 level, then I will look for price to continue lower into 0.6680 level. So neutral bias, and it could go in either direction, but overall bias is to the downside still. So as long as it stays below today's high, I would look for a further drop, and target would be 0.6660. So neutral here. Dollar CAD here, this one is bullish. We had talked about how price was into resistance here. So it kind of got stuck there, but it is pushing into the high here. So bias is still bullish here for our dollar CAD. Now, again, we still have to think about our support resistance level here. So I would look for price to go and retest the high from yesterday at 1.3165 level. If it stays below, then I would look for price to drop further. Otherwise, we could get a move higher here. So bias is bullish, but with caution. First target 1.3165, second target 1.3200. So bullish bias for dollar CAD. Gold here, gold is moving higher. It's been holding above, silver here. Silver's been moving higher. It's holding above this previous support resistance level. So resistance turning into support here. And now we have a move higher. So bias is bullish here, and target here. Okay, so the first target here is 16.73 and then 16.90. So bullish bias for silver. Gold here, gold has actually gone up as well. So this is looking bullish. With this one though, okay. So with this one here, this is looking bullish, but it's been stuck in this little range for the last 3 years. I mean, 3 days, now 3 years. So bullish bias, I would say. However, if the price does not break today's high or yesterday's high here, at 1430 level, then it could drop. But for now, bias is bullish here, and first target 1439, and then second target 1450. So bullish bias for gold. Oil looking bearish here. This one turned around, was not able to go through this support resistance level, an important support resistance level. So this one today we have a nice bearish engulfing candle close. So I would look for a pullback and then a drop, pullback level into this 56.6 level here. So bearish bias target is 54.83 or 54.80. Bias is bearish, and then below that we're looking at 54.20, so bearish bias for oil. Copper didn't really do a whole lot here. We have a neutral candle close. So what we see here is our drop, pullback, and as long as it stays below 2.68, we could see a drop again. However, the candle close is neutral today, so this looks like a spinning top candle. We have pins on both sides, small candle body, that's our spinning top. So if it goes through 2.68, it could go higher into 2.69. So bias is neutral, and depending on which way it wants to go, we have our targets. Bitcoin, yesterday we were looking for a drop, we got that. Now we are right into the support level at 94.50. Now this candle here does look bearish. So as such, I would look for price to drop, pull back, and then drop here. So pull back into that level and then drop. Target is 90.50. So it actually got into 94.50. Now the target is 90.50. So bias here is bearish for Bitcoin. And if it goes through this level, then we are back into this 84.60 level here. So bearish bias for Bitcoin. S&P 500, we are right into the highs here. So there were comments in regards to US-China trade negotiations that they will be moving forward with face-to-face talks. So as a result of that, we saw our indices, equity markets go up here. Plus, everybody's expecting an interest rate cut from the Fed, which is also good for the stock market. So as a result of that, here we have a bullish candle close. So bias is bullish here. And we see price wanting to go through the high here. It's pulled back previously, so it could still do that. So the first thing would be, does it stay below our 30-20? So it could turn here, but should it break out, we're looking at 30-80 as target. Right now, though, this one looks quite bullish. It's pushing into the high. But again, because we are at the extreme highs here, watch out for resistance and move down. That will be the caution and something we have to look at. But bias right now is bullish. Okay, NASDAQ here, this one is also looking bullish here. And if we zoom out, there is really no data available here. We are at extreme highs here, all-time highs for the market. So I will look for price to go higher here and potentially into this 80-50 level that it was almost at. It went to 80-30 level. So I think this one could go higher into 81.50 level. So I would look for a bullish move here. Now the question or the concern here will be, actually let's say 8100, sorry, my apology, 8100. The question is, will it go through here? It's at all-time high, so it can turn but it is looking bullish right now, so this one could go through. 8100 will be the target here. This one looks bullish as well, DAX. So we had a nice pullback and a good bullish pin bar close here. So bias is bullish. I will look for price to go into the high at 12,650 level. So bullish bias for DAX. FTSE here, this one actually dropped, still looking range bound, hasn't really broken out of the range at this point. So bias is neutral. So we have to see a break either through the bottom or through the high, but either one here. That's what we have. Right now it's trading in a range. So if the price breaks through the bottom, then I'm looking for 74.38 as the target. If it breaks to the high, then I'm looking for a retest of the high at 76.20 level. But for now, neutral bias for FTSE. And last one, this one, Nikkei here is looking bullish. We have a bullish candle close for today. So next target here is 21,850. If it goes through that, we're looking at 22,000. So bias is bullish for Nikkei as well. All right, so that's all I have. Guys, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow.